Hey folks, you're osmvtx.com. You're watching our video review of the LG Optimus S for Sprint. Now, the Optimus S and the Optimus series in general, the Generation 1 model that we have here, was essentially a very popular line of Android devices produced by LG, and in my opinion, it's actually what made LG relevant again here in the United States, as far as Android is considered. And the popularity came from the fact that it actually ran on every single carrier in the States, including T-Mobile, AT&T, Boost Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, and the list goes on and on. And for every single carrier, essentially the phone was exactly the same in the internals, except it had a different colored skin and a packaging from the outside perspective. It always had a 600 megahertz processor, always a 3.2-inch capacitive touchscreen, always with Android 2.2. And so as far as the insides are considered, the phone isn't anything new. But for Sprint, there is a slight change up in terms of the design from, for example, AT&T's version. The device originally cost $129 with a 2-year service agreement, but can now be purchased at a street price of around $60 or so without a contract, which makes it a pretty affordable and easy to use non-contract device. Taking a closer look at the design, the Sprint version came in different colors. This is the actually magenta version, which offers a pretty cool design and overtone that makes the phone more unique than the other devices in the Optimus lineup. It offers a soft grip, soft touch material, which makes it pretty grippy and easy to hold in your hands without sliding out, which is definitely great for people with slightly larger hands or smaller hands that are worried they might have a phone that might slip out of their hands too easily. Again, the front device is dominated by the aforementioned touchscreen, which is capacitive and has a WVGA resolution, and on the top you have access to a proximity sensor for the light and a earpiece. The bottom device features 4 standard Android hotkeys, which are backlit in darker environments, and they correspond to the home, the menu, the back, and the search keys. The buttons are pretty risen above the surface and easy to press. Despite being kind of small, they are very tactile, and so overall we do like these buttons better than any capacitive touchscreen buttons that we found on other versions of the Optimus, just because they happen to be a little bit more responsive than those versions were. The left-hand side device features a hot swappable micro SD card, and there was a 2 GB card included in the packaging, which is nice. The top of the device features a 3.5mm headphone jack for listening to music. You can also use stereo Bluetooth. There's also a power on and off switch. The actual right-hand side features a volume rocker that's large and easy to press, and also a dedicated camera key for taking images with the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera, and also there's a voice command key, which is a nice functionality. The back features the aforementioned camera and also the loudspeaker, and behind the device features the actual back cover and battery. Turning the device on, again, it's a pretty stock install of Android for the most part. This phone actually didn't really come with any real skin on top of Android in terms of LG's perspective, such as LG S-Class, like the newer LG devices running on Android these days have, but instead it's a pretty clean install, which we are excited about. However, the device definitely came with a lot of bloatware, such as Sprint ID packs for changing the theme and the wallpapers, and also a lot of applications like Telenav, GPS services that weren't always useful for everyone out there, but you could always uninstall some of them, but unfortunately not all of them. Taking a look at some of the actual specifics of the phone, you have 5 navigational home screens that you can slide through and customize with your favorite widgets and applications, and sliding the device down offers a notification drawer. As far as battery life is considered on the Optimus S, it's decent but not great. It lasts around a day and a half before recharging needs to be done. As far as battery life is considered, though, reception is very, very strong, and also the call quality was one of the better phones we've tested on Sprint's network, at least here in Seattle. As far as responsiveness of the device, the touchscreen was occasionally not as responsive as we liked it to be. Even though the touchscreen is a capacitive one, it feels slightly plasticky for some reason. It's not like the level of glass that we have on an iPhone or a more higher-end Android device, which is pure glass and it feels like glass. This feels like plastic, and it's kind of softer, even though it's not resistive, but it is capacitive, so it's a little bit strange. Otherwise, the phone is fairly responsive, even though it only has a 600 megahertz processor and obviously not a 1 gigahertz processor, but it still works pretty well. The screen under brighter environments will get a lot of glare and will be difficult to read, but the actual viewing angles indoors are pretty good, and they're better than some lower-end Android LG devices we've seen, such as the LG Optimus Net and the Dynamic series that we reviewed a few weeks ago, which we find to be a little bit ironic because the Optimus S came out, again, years ago, but it still offers a better screen experience than the newer LG low-end Android devices of today. So taking a look at the applications here, we have some advanced task killers, some camcorders and camera functionalities, a gallery, and some basic Gmail supported applications pre-installed. Not all of these are pre-installed. Originally, the phone came with the Google Marketplace, but it has since been updated to the Google Play Store, which works just as well. There is turn-by-turn navigation with Google Navigational Services. There's also a Vingo application built in here for recognition of different songs if you want to do that. There's voice search and voice command, and also a YouTube application built in. As far as typing experience goes on the actual keyboard, we did find that it was slightly cramped in the actual regular portrait mode here, but if you switch it to horizontal mode, the keyboard becomes a lot faster and easier to use. The default keyboard, by the way, is also swipe, which is pretty nice. It allows for a better typing experience overall than perhaps a regular keyboard can actually bring, especially on a smaller size screen. It offers a nice amount of speed. As far as the web browsing experience is considered, on the actual Optimus S, it's not bad at all, even though it doesn't support full Flash applications, and some web pages with too much content on there will crash occasionally. For the most part, pinch to zoom and actually browsing is a pretty decent experience, and we found it to be pretty smooth. And as far as if you're using either 3G or Wi-Fi, pages should load at a respectable speed for the most part as well. Again, there's not too many other applications and functions we can discuss. As far as the camera is considered, it takes pretty good shots, like we said, especially with the dedicated camera shutter key, which we definitely liked. If we have a tab over here we wanted to take an image of, it focuses once and takes the image at a respectable speed, though no actual light or a self-portrait mirror are included. The device can also record video again, but it's no HD video, although you can upload them after you take them directly to YouTube at a good speed as well. And again, sometimes there is a little bit of sluggishness when you're playing games or loading up too many images and albums, but for the most part, it's just a 1 or 2 second delay, which you will get used to over time. Again, pinch to zoom is a pretty fluid and lucid experience overall. It's easy to use, it's easy to customize, and again, you can take your images and again, edit them and also send them either via Bluetooth, via email, MMS, text message, and so on and so forth. So overall, the Sprint Optimus S isn't anything that we haven't seen before. It's a fairly mid-end performing phone at that, but it comes with a very good call quality experience and also comes with a very good budget low price tag. And for the price, I think that it's definitely a recommendable device. Some downsides includes the fact that the device is occasionally sluggish and also it has limited amounts of memory. So if you want to install too many apps, you will have the phone crash and not want to browse the web as fast as you want it to really be. But otherwise, if you're looking for a phone first and some application support from Android second, it would make a great emergency backup phone or a great first Android smartphone, even in today's standards, especially if you like the color choices here with Sprint. This is the magenta purple version again. So it's a respectable device, and in many aspects, it's even better than some of the newer LG Android devices with a lower price tag in today's standards, which is very impressive. So thanks for watching this video review here at osmvtxreviews.com. This has been the LG Optimus S for Sprint, and also our brother site at OS Tech News.